You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat Mobile character review. Today we are taking a closer look at Strikeforce Scorpion. We will go through all of his special attacks, basic attacks, his X-ray and of course everything else he brings to the table. Strikeforce Scorpion is part of the Martial Artist and Spec Ops class, and his passive is called Tactical Extraction. When a teammate would be KO'd, Scorpion tags in and counter-attacks with heavy damage. Saved teammates recover 15% of their health. Having two Strikeforce teammates allows Scorpion to make an additional save. Strikeforce teammates power drain on tagging. And then synergy-wise, we also have Strikeforce characters do 10% more damage versus Ronin characters. Strikeforce Scorpion was introduced with update 1.11 under the name Spec Ops Scorpion. He was released alongside with characters such as Nightmare Freddy Krueger, Elder God Kenshi, and Bounty Hunter Aaron Black, who now is known as Black Dragon Aaron Black. He started out in the game as a gold card and was maxed out with level 50 and Fusion 7. He then also had his own combat pack, the so-called Spec Ops Scorpion Combat Pack, which was available for 200 souls, and also the card pack design itself was quite stunning. His passive has changed a little bit over the years, and the original passive stated Scorpion saves each teammate from one death blow, then counter-attacks the opponent. Spec Ops teammates steal power on tag-in. His level cap was raised with update 1.18 to level 60 and Fusion X, and with update 2.0 he transitioned into a diamond character. He is available in several packs, but let me tell you guys, it is quite hard to get this guy to a Fusion X. I needed over 3 years to get that managed, so be aware if you are planning to get your hands on him. Scorpion's gear piece is the Shirai Ryu Kunai, and it gives you 25% critical hit chance boost, 30% special attack 1 and 2 unblockable chance, which goes for Scorpion characters only, and 50% damage boost against enemies affected by stun or slow. In terms of his feats of strength, he will have to win 500 matches in battle mode to unlock his rune. For his victory stances, he will have to win 750 matches in Faction Wars. For his taunts, he has to perform 250 X-ray/Fatal Blow attacks. For his icons, he will have to perform 1500 Special 2 attacks. For his backgrounds, he has to knock out 500 Sub-Zero enemies. And for his titles, he has to perform 2000 Special 1 attacks. And now we are going to take a closer look at the victory stances one by one, starting with victory. Next we have warming up. Third would be Shirai Ryu Respect. And exclusive for Strikeforce Scorpion only, Enraged. And on your victory screen it will look like this. Now I am going to show you all of his backgrounds. Next up we have the icons. And finally, the titles. Strike Force Scorpion has a tag and attack which mainly triggers each time he saves a teammate, and by doing that he just enters the battlefield jumping in with an uppercut, and when the opponent is low on health this attack can also be lethal. After Strike Force Scorpion saves a teammate once, he gets access to this tag and attack each time he tags in. This can also happen automatically if an opponent knocks out one of your teammates. Strike Force Scorpion has two kinds of combo enders. With the first one, he delivers a few punches, one little kick, and then throws some kind of ashes or powder into the eyes of the opponent. On his second combo ender, he literally summons the Hellfire Blade and strikes the opponent, pushing him back. The good news is that with both combo enders, follow-up attacks, especially with his special one attack, will always connect, so they are very safe to use. This character is also highly skilled when it comes to chain basic attacks and combo enders, and then even leading into the special one, for example, as I already mentioned. Just have a look how this works here. Beautiful. His special one attack is called Spear and it has a stun debuff tied to it. And if you are familiar with Scorpion characters, then you will know this from most variations, maybe aside from MK11, Hellspawn and Classic Scorpion, and as usual this attack is also not lethal, and in this case this is no exception. His special 2 attack is called Judgment and it has a heal buff tied to it. Once executed, Scorpion will start healing unless he is poisoned. The attack itself deals massive damage and is also lethal. One thing is different though than in the past, and that is the fact that it's no longer chainable, which means that before you were actually able to use that special 2 attack and the first few hits knocked out one opponent if the opponent was low enough on health, and then the second part of that special attack connected with the next opponent. This is no longer the case now, which is quite sad, but still you have the heal going, and when one opponent is knocked out, you already reached one of your major goals. And it's very hard to say if that function returns, because that can happen with any update. Strike Force Scorpion's X-Ray is called From Hell and it has a curse debuff tied to it. It is basically the exact same thing that we know from all the gold variations and most of the diamonds except for MK11 Scorpion. So nothing new here, it's the same old, same old. The first property of his passive is the effect of Power Drain on Taggin, which goes now for all other Strike Force teammates as well. And then we of course have the saving aspect of that, which goes for every character you put in his team. Since update 2.7 we also have Brutality gear especially designed for Diamond Scorpion characters, giving you this special combo ender, and of course if you are using the Brutal Ending talent from the talent tree, you can basically perform a Brutality mid-match, and if there's only one remaining survivor on the field and the Brutality triggers, then you get the full animation including that little Brutality logo and also Scorpion spitting fire. And yes, this Brutality is the definition of toasty. One useful little secret to know is if Combat Cup Sonya Blade times out Scorpion, he still can return to save teammates, and from then on is again part of the match, and you can tag him out and tag to other characters, basically ignoring her passive. And now it's time to recommend some gear again, and my first choice is the Bladed Fan, or basically any kind of block breaker. You can also go for the Rusty Chainsaw, that is completely up to you. My second choice would be Spectre's Infernal Chains, and let's put it directly together, Spectre's Burning Vengeance as well. This way Scorpion can not only perform his Brutality but also set opponents on fire when blocking, and also Power Drain on Special 1, and this gear set offers many other functions on top, especially when maxed out. For the next choice I would go with Moloch's Ball and Chain, but of course you can also go with his Shirai Ryu Kunai. I just prefer Moloch's Ball and Chain due to the higher chance of lethal attacks, and the block breaking abilities on special attacks is basically the same, but also with Moloch's Ball and Chain you have a chance for free special 2s, so I'd rather go with Moloch's Ball and Chain here, even though that extra critical is quite juicy when it comes from his kunai. It's basically your choice again. And the winner in my book is the Living Dead armor, because it can bring back Scorpion once from the dead. So even if he is knocked out, he will still be in the match and can basically tag out and still save other teammates if need be. Then next up we have character recommendations, and first I would of course go with one of the Strikeforce teammates, which is Cassie Cage in this case. Her tag-in abilities with the power drain of the entire opponent team are quite useful. She also provides a little shield upon tag-in, and let alone that she's pretty good as a fighter in general. Then my second choice would be Warlock Quan Chi. He would bring Scorpion back from the dead one more time. If you combine that with the Living Dead armor on him, he's basically safe for 2 times, which means that he can absorb X-rays and just take high damage special attacks, and thanks to his special 2 healing abilities, he can just heal back up afterwards. And if you're playing him with Warlock Quan Chi, then also Slasher Jason would be a nice third companion. And in case you don't want to give him a block-breaking weapon, then how about just adding Covered Ops Cassie Cage to the mix, because since he's a dual class and one of them is Spec Ops, she will provide her block-breaking passive, leaving Scorpion the option to go with the Bloody Tomahawk or the Wrathhammer, for example. Once again, the choice is all yours. Then next, I'm basically using here Balanced Kenshi, but you can also go with Hellspawn Scorpion or with Shaolin Kungjin, basically any character, either Spec Ops or Martial Artist that grants a bar of power at the start. I was just going with Balanced Kenshi here because in most cases you will play Strikeforce Scorpion with Spec Ops characters. And then the best character to use him together with would be Strikeforce Johnny Cage. Not only that, this guy is an absolute beast when it comes to basic attacks, also the power drain on special 1, the snare on special 2. This guy is a total all-rounder, and of course, since he is part of the Strike Force team, he can also be saved twice by Scorpion. So of course, the best choice always would be to keep the Strike Force team together. But then again, experimenting around with several different characters is so much fun. Coming up with a verdict for Strike Force Scorpion is pretty easy, because he's literally one of the best diamond cards we have in the game. His special 1 attack is great, his special 2 is great. Then we have great basics, good chaining, an amazing passive. There is literally nothing that this character doesn't bring. The design is good, he's absolutely fun to play. Also, his brutality gear is really useful and even a lot of fun to use that on other characters. But of course, if you put that on Scorpion, he shines the most. He already was one of my most played characters back then in the days when he was still a gold card, and even now he is constantly in basically every tower fight, at least when it comes to those difficult boss fights. Having him as a backup is always a good thing, and that doesn't only go for tower fights but also for survivor mode as well, so 2 thumbs up from my side. But let's have a quick look at the pros and cons again. The first pro is the amazing passive, saving basically every character that you put together in a team with him. Doesn't have to be Strike Force, doesn't have to be Spec Ops. You can literally use anyone, bronze cards, silver cards, whatever you want. He will always be great when it comes to that. Then my next pro would be the stun on special 1, which is always useful and the main reason why so many people love to play Scorpion characters. Then my third and final pro here would be the special 2 with his healing abilities. The only downside would be poison, but how many times does that actually happen? Most of the time you can make pretty good use of that. But now let's also have a little look at the negatives, and here we don't have really major ones. One of them would be Sindel Signet Ring, simply because when the opponent wears that thing and you start healing, the opponent would heal as well, which is not really that great if you think about it. Then another point to consider would be Dark Raiden, simply because he will gain power on power drain, which means each time you tag in with Scorpion he will gain a little bit of power, and sometimes that can make the difference of giving him an X-ray. Then my third and final con has to do with that transition that he became a diamond and now basically shares the amazing properties mainly with his Strike Force team teammates. But before that time, there was actually the time when he shared the power drain on tagging with all Spec Ops teammates, which I actually enjoyed a lot, because just having, for example, Covered Up's Cassie tagging in and power draining at the same time, that was a lot better than just having Strike Force Scorpion now working mainly for his own team. But long story short, it's about time to get to the rating for Strike Force Scorpion, and I absolutely am willing to give him a straight up 10 out of 10. He's, as I already mentioned, one of the best diamond characters we have in the game, with amazing special attacks, amazing passive. This guy deserves to be on top of the mountain, and each time this guy drops for you, please rejoice, because you just pulled a master. Well, and that's basically it for my Strike Force Scorpion review, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And now, to close this video properly, I'm having a question for you guys in the comment section. What is your most favorite team around Strike Force Scorpion? Which is the most played team that you have built around Strike Force Scorpion? Do you have any secrets that you want to share with others? Thank you for tuning in once again. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. In case you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button twice just to make sure. And if you want to support the channel a little further, please consider joining the Patreon family of KC Mobile Gaming. You can already do that with as little as just $1 a month. And also follow me on social media like Twitter and Facebook. You will find all the necessary information in the description below of every video. If you want to see more content, then why don't you just click on one of those two videos here. Thank you for your support. Have a good one. KC over and out for today.